أحمده وأستعينه وأستغفره وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم أرسله بالدين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره الكافرون. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن الحكيم والكتاب المبين بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولقد زينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيح صدق الله مولانا العظيم. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وددت أنها في قلب كل مؤمن يعني تبارك الذي بيده-الملك. Alhamdulillah, we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the best of all praises, or the best that we can muster, and we will always be deficient in our praise of Him, the Lord of all the worlds, the most gracious, the most merciful, the Master of the Day of Judgment, the one, the Creator of the heavens and the earth, the one who has no beginning and has no end. When we testify in Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, we bear witness in Him, and we face towards Him, and we ask repentance from Him, and we search ma'rifah and knowledge of Him, and we believe in His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Sayyidina Muhammad. We believe in His message and Him being the final messenger and the bringer of the Quran al-Kareem, and the light that we follow sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the one that we try and follow openly and inwardly, the one who is our master, our Prophet ﷺ, the one who sacrificed everything for us, the one that is our model and is the one that we take example from in our daily lives. And on our behalf, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward him and all the messengers and prophets and all the saliheen that came before us, inshaAllah, with the best of rewards on our behalf for transmitting Islam and Iman and Ihsan. So alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the tawfiq to start the journey of Surah Mulk. This is one of the surahs that the ulama have recommended for the general people to connect themselves to the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through this surah. And we mentioned the fada'il of that in a previous khutbah, and we've started to go through, and we mentioned the opening, the majestic opening of the surah. Tabarak Alladhi Biyadihil-Mulk. And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has power and dominion over all of this dominion, and He is capable of all things, and He created life and death, and He created these seven heavens, Tabarak, and that we look towards them and we can't find any deficiency in what He's created subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so He starts off this surah by just blowing us away, by reminding us of the vastness of the creation, and the vastness of the heavens and the earth, and the vastness of our own selves. Yet we get caught up with day-to-day things. So He just wakes us up in that beginning of the surah. And then He says, وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِيحَ, and we have beautified the heavens with lamps. So He's going to start talking about the unseen things, the things that, okay, there's this vastness that you can see, but there's things that you don't know that goes on. And one of them is that when we look up into the stars, there's an order to it. People use it to navigate, but also it's as a beautification. وَلَقَدْ جَعَلْنَا فِي السَّمَاءِ بُرُوجًا وَزَيَّنَّاهَا لِلنَّاظِرِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we have made them constellations, the stars constellations, and we have beautified them for the people who look towards them, for the onlookers. That's something that unites us, well, most of us as human beings. We look up to the night sky and we see these stars and we're just bewildered. We're just bewildered by it. And people go stargazing, right? Because of the beauty of the night sky. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He could have made it in any way, but He made it as a beautification for those people who look at them. I had a patient the other day came to me and he said, I'm suicidal. And we tried to explore the reasons why he was suicidal. He said, I look to the skies and I see the stars and I just become bewildered. What's the point? What's the significance? I'm nothing within this universe. And that's one of the things that the vastness of the universe can do to someone, is just make them feel so insignificant. And in some ways we are. But in other ways, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done that so that we become bewildered, so we turn back to Him. So this is a difference in our reaction to becoming bewildered. That's one of the roots, they say, of the Ismullah is waliha, is to become bewildered. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so bewildering, you can't comprehend Him. You can't comprehend something without a beginning. Everything's got a beginning that we understand. Something without any beginning. You just can't comprehend that. You can start to try and think about it, but you'll become bewildered. So this is, when we become bewildered, we submit. Aslimu, Islam, we just submit to the one true God that knows all. So He's beautified and adorned. And then He says, وَجَعَلْنَاهَا رَجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينَ, and we have made them, i.e. the break off of the stars, right, the meteors, missiles to drive away the shayateen. وَأَعْتَدْنَا لَهُمْ عَذَابَ السَّعِيرِ, and we have prepared for them the torment of the blazing fire. So this is the unseen reasons of the meteors, that it keeps away the shayateen al-jinn. One from the heavens, the higher heavens that are trying to invade, and also in the protection for us. And this is part of the unseen, something we have to believe in. It's the Quran, right? How it happens, Allah knows best. But there's a protection for the heavens. There's a celestial happening, something amazing, something spectacular happening in the celestial world that we're just not aware of. But there's a protection from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there's a protection on every level for us. Our immune system is a protection. We're just being protected all the time. Our white cells are saving us all the time through the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our kidneys are filtering all the time by the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our heart is beating moment to moment. We're not thinking about all of those things. But there's a protection every beat, every moment, so that we have a homeostasis, so that we can then contemplate the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Qatar says the stars were only created for three purposes. Allah created them either as an adornment for the heavens, or missiles for the devils, or as a sign for navigation. لِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ عَذَابُ جَهَنَّمْ وَبِئْسَ الْمَصِيرُ. So the adhab that Allah was talking about is for those who disbelieve in their Lord, and there is a torment of hell, and worst indeed is that as a destination. May Allah protect us from the hellfire. Right? But there's a protection and there's a magnificence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He's showing it and He's making it clear to us. And He's just asking us to believe. I mean, that's the differentiation right there, is belief or non-belief. Right? Actions come after. Whoever hopes, the last ayah we read in Surah Mulk, whoever hopes to meet their Lord, فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا, then do a good deed. And don't commit shirk with their Lord. Meaning, that's the main thing, is not doing shirk. And then we have our amal. We offer whatever we can as a witness to our belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِذَا أُلْقُوا فِيهَا سَمِعُوا لَهَا شَهِيقًا. When they are cast therein, they will hear it shahiq, they will hear the creakings and the cracking and the screams. وَهِيَ تَفُورُ, while it is simmering. تَكَادُ تَمَيَّزُ مِنَ الْغَيْظِ. It almost bursts up with fury. Talking about Jahannam, when something's about to overboil, it's consistently overboiling. كُلَّمَا أُلْقِيَ فِيهَا فَوْجٌ سَأَلَهُمْ خَزَنَتُهَا أَلَمْ يَأْتِكُمْ نَذِيرٌ. Every time a group is cast in therein, i.e. to Jahannam, its keepers will ask, did no warner come to you? And they will say, yes, indeed, a warner did come to us, but we rejected him and said, Allah never sent down anything, you are only in great error. So people would be at the gate, the angels, do you not hear the warner? And they said, yes, but we turned them away. We said, this is nothing, this is fairy tales, this has nothing to do with us. وَمَا كُنَّا, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in a verse elsewhere, وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. We do not punish until we have sent a messenger. So despite all of the proofs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we look through the creation, that He would not punish a person or a people or a qawm until He sent a messenger to them. So if there's no messenger that's been sent and there's disbelief, then there's no punishment. But the people of hellfire will say, لَوْ كُنَّا نَسْمَعُ أَوْ نَعْقِلُ مَا كُنَّا فِي أَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ. If we were only to use our ears or our intellect, we would not become the people of hellfire. If they had listened and used their intellect. Right? This is the aqal is something that it's tamyiz, it differentiates things for us. Right? Aqal is this light of intellect that we've been given from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we use it properly, then it should lead us, inshaAllah, to the right path. And so the people of hellfire will say, if only we'd use our intellect properly and contemplate it, we would not be in this position. فَاعْتَرَفُوا بِذَنْبِهِمْ فَسُحْقًا لِأَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ. Then they will confess their sin. So away with the dwellers of the blazing fire. They will confess their sin. I.e., and here, فَاعْتَرَفُوا, ma'rifah. I mentioned the gnosis of Allah, coming to know God, and that everybody, believer or non-believer, will come to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we think about coming to know Allah, we think about Salihin and the great stories of the awliya, but everyone will come to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one way or another. And so we just ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the way that we come to know Him is through Jannah and through the word of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the Quran al-Kareem, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes our journey to Him and to His gnosis easy, inshaAllah. The Prophet ﷺ says, لَنْ يَهْلِكَ النَّاسُ حَتَّى يُعْذِرُوا مِنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ. A people will not be destroyed until they themselves confess their guilt. Right? This is the justice from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He's not going to punish you without a realization. And it's only when you truly realize and you confess and you submit that then whatever punishment or reward will come to you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this, then He's going to talk about the reward for those people who fear their Lord based on the unseen. So we've gone from Allah pointing out towards the fact that He is majestic, He's all-knowing, He's all-able, explaining that there's unseen things within the celestial realm, but our intellect should lead to us believing in Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that there's a punishment for those people who turn away from that. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us on the straight path. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be people of hearing and understanding and enter us into His paradise, inshaAllah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين.